new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step into a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off, it's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through one thing. It's just gonna solidify everything when they goes.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Inu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an athlete immediately to back, like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Welcome back, everybody, to CGL Season 15. Naya, we have got one more week before the mid-season tournament here. Only a few more games before we get to crown our mid-season champion. It should be a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to look forward to. We're only halfway through the season. You ready to get this one between Chronus and Flock rolling?
Oh yeah, I am so ready. We got to see the Flock last week put up a very, very dominant performance, a 3-0 sweep. So I wouldn't be surprised here if they were coming up into this match with a interesting turn of events. But you're heading up against Chronus here, and you know, this could be a different story for this Chronus team.
Yeah, these teams, as far as I have heard and know, very, very close in the standings. I guess they're gone. They're gone, guys. Everything's gone. You don't get anything anymore. Okay, we're coming back slowly. We're coming back slowly. Wait a minute. Yeah, very, very close in the standings. I wish I could see what was going on here. Okay, so yeah, in the EU PC Open tier, these two teams are 2 and 3 seeds, if I am not mistaken. Let me look at the leaderboard.
Ooh.
Chronus versus the Flock. Yeah, 2 and 3 seeds. Chronus 3-0. The Flock 2 and 1. So jockeying for that second seed. And if Chronus wins, they could even, potentially threaten 0907, who's sitting in the 1 seed in this group, sitting at 4-0, already finished, probably had a bye somewhere in there. But yeah, the way I'm looking at it, Chronus hasn't really map wins. Chronus has 9 map wins. Yeah, they haven't lost a map yet, and neither has 0907. So the tiebreakers are going to be interesting if Chronus can sweep this game, but the Flock not really too shabby themselves.
Yeah, and the Flock did have a dominant performance last week, but can they show it here? They had to build themselves momentum with that win last week, but you're heading up against a team that hasn't lost a single map here, Fletch, and I would definitely be a little scared about that. You gotta toss your head around that and say, and basically have a plan for your team, because if you don't have a plan heading up into it, you're gonna be looking at a 0-3.
Yeah, I mean, that's always super important, right? Especially this early into a new meta, right? With perks and all that fun stuff, which, speaking of, I believe this is the first week of CGL that's going to have perks.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. So we are on the perk train now here in CGL. So already incredibly meta shifting, right? We're a couple weeks into this new season. A lot of new stuff has been tried, but still in the infancy in general, trying to figure out what perks are the best in the game, what, and how they affect the heroes, because you know, a perk can be awesome, but a hero can be garbage, right? So you got to find that balance, right? So this is an interesting place because, you know, like we were talking about Cronus, they've not lost a map, but if there's any time for a team like the Flock, who is strong in their own right, to come in, swoop in, take the upset, it's right now because, hey, nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, this could basically be like the Gen G versus Team Peps game that we got to see up on the Overwatch Esports channel, where, you know, Gen G was the top seed and Team Peps just rolled them. But yeah, Cronus here, you're looking at a team that has been putting in a lot of dedication throughout this season so far of the EU Open tier, but can this definitely shift? We have these perks coming in that can change the momentum and tempo for all these heroes, but the perks are going to be very important. I know myself as a Lucio player, Fletch, the boop is insane. If you can catch somebody off of like the map, the corner, hit them right off, it could be a massive pick.
Yeah, so now as we get ready to head in here to this game, does our producer person potentially have some rosters for us? If we can get that rolling. Okay, not yet. We are just going to keep talking then. Yeah. So that, I mean, that is the big change here, right? The perks are going to be ever important for the rest of Overwatch history as we know it.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about Season 9 like it was, you know, this massive shift in Overwatch. Perks kind of make it look like a very, very minor change. So it's gonna be so fun to see how, you know, this kind of stuff evolves. Not even just right now in this specific meta, this time frame where, you know, these characters might be strong, but because we're gonna have these perks in perpetuity. I mean, it's just gonna change how the game is played in general. So, it is. I mean, I just have to be like, and I just have to say it's gonna be a lot for us to keep track of. So,
Oh yeah.
I do kind of feel sorry for the viewers who are trying to keep track of everything, because even we are not gonna be able to keep up with everything perfectly. I have a bit of a perk tracker on my other monitor right now, so I'm gonna try to do what I can to, you know, keep y'all informed, but I don't even know if I'll be informed. So
Yeah, it just depends, you know, we got so many multiple perks here, Fletch, like, if we were to count them, we at least got over that number of, you know, the certain heroes, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the teams could do. It's definitely gonna be that shift in the meta, but I'm wondering if the teams have watched what happened over the weekend, because I know teams that were dominant, that were trying to show for, you know, their community, they either got rolled or they didn't know what they were doing with the perks. So I'm wondering if these teams here in our EU Open tier could find a strategy around those perks and cook something up.
yeah, and I mean, one really good thing about this, you know, this is the second week that perks have been around and only the first for CGL to have put them in. It is a they've had a little bit of practice, right? Because
Yeah.
last week's meta was still that old part as we are getting ready to head into our hero bans. Last week's meta was still, you know, the old stuff that we have been running for a while. But now, you know, you've had a week to practice with these perks and try and get used to, you know, what you like, what you think will work. You know, we've seen a whole lot of heroes be played with these perks. You know, Winston, Hazard, Wrecking Ball, Sigma. I mean, there's a lot of options now that there are, you know, these extra powers involved. So I expect to see, especially at the beginning of this, a very, very diverse and fun meta to watch because, you know, people always complain about, oh, both teams are running the same thing. We won't be there for a while.
Yeah, and you know, I'm wondering what the Flock are gonna ban here. It could be a tank pick, and I wouldn't be surprised about it, because I know Winston is pretty strong with the bubble that basically shields now if you get that perk, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see the same thing come out from the Flock to where they ban possibly like a hazard, but I wouldn't be surprised if a support could also come out, because
Oh, wow.
support shift, yeah.
Okay. So Brig is the option. I am curious if that means that they think that Chronus are going to be running a dive. Because, you know, if that is the option there for the Flock, right? And it's not just a throwaway. Because that could very well be the idea behind Brig is that they just don't want to have to worry about, you know, one of their strong supports being banned. But maybe Chronus, they know like to run dive, and Brig is important in a comp like dive. So I guess we'll have to see and wait to see what Chronus are gonna pull out here. Can only be a tank or a DPS.
Yeah, and with the Brig ban, that does take away the strong perks, so no nasty whip shots from any Brig players, but yeah, support's out of the question. Now you got tank, and it's gonna be a tank, and it's gonna be D.Va, so more up on the side of a brawl here, possibly coming out up on this map 1.
I don't expect to see... Well, I guess we could see a dive. I don't think it would be as strong, you know, without Brig, because Brig is super important counter dive. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that this is going to be a little bit more brawly. I need to pull up the map pool to see where we're going, unless person wants to throw us over to that map screen. But is going to be... Oh, are we picking?
There you go.
What's happening now? Yeah, no, we're not picking person. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my ethereal map, or my ethereal person, just said that he wants to hit me with hammers. So Busan for map number 1. Very, very interesting and diverse map. You can kind of play whatever you want on Busan. The high grounds on downtown make dive viable, but I think you touched on it a little bit. I expect a brawl, and if we see anything close to a dive, it's probably going to be Hazard. Hazard is not exactly a full dive. It's kind of like a hybrid of a dive and a brawl. I think that is a very, very strong possibility, just because of how strong Hazard has been in general, and still looks to be as we head into this, as we get a look at Chronus, Unto, Kurama on the DPS, Depsy on the tank, Jonty and Zoom in the backline. But yeah, I think that Hazard is probably a pretty good shout for what we might see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about the Hazard. Obviously, Mecha Base coming up into this Busan, you do get to see the Brawl, but Dive could also be potential pick there. But let's head forth up into our next roster here, which is the Flock. We have been seeing them throughout the streams here up in our EU Open Division, and they have been pretty dominant, but here's the DPS line. We got Indra, the Sky Demon, but our tank and support, we got Terry, Deb, and Kai. So it's going to be interesting to see what these players could do. They are currently 2-1 here against a 3-0 team, but they are the underdogs up in this series. It should definitely be a close one. We got the number 2 versus the number 3.
Yeah, Chronus, they are looking to, potentially grab that number 1 seed if they are allowed to. Can't lose a map. They cannot lose a map if they want to surpass 0907 in this EU Open tier. The Flock, looking to play spoiler. Even if they go down, if they can take a map, they will dash the dreams of Cronus and potentially getting that #1 seed. So as we get ready to head into Busan, you know, it's got to be on the mind. I mean, you can see here, their name's the Sky Demon. They've got a fair low, you know, player icon. Okay, so these are just different teams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could definitely say about that. Yeah, you're looking at the flock, which you have basically the interesting pick of this JQ comp, and with the rush, it could actually be pretty viable against what Cronus is running. That's if you focus that backline pretty quickly.
All right, here we go. Busan Mecha Base coming up here first. It will be a couple of rush compositions, as you said. Depsy going up and over, throwing the bubble onto Kurama. Another one on, did not quite see who that one was. But Zoom getting active in there, taking down the Tracer. Chappers falls, and it will be the flock falling back.
Yeah, Zoom able to get this initial pick here for the side for them, but you're looking at the flock here. They are in an interesting position against this Cronus team. But yeah, if Zoom could keep the pressure up on with the speeds here, but as well get these speed rings from their Juno, this could just be more of Cronus here.
All right, here we go. Flashbang out, roll back, but Celix is already dead. Without that Junker Queen, the initiation is gone. Indra does find something, but Depsy is just frying right now.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Depsy has been doing a pretty good one so far up on this Zarya, and as we get to see here, Fletch, 83% to this Zarya ultimate, and this is basically the only ultimate that they have up online, almost. But you're looking at the flock here. They only have Kai's Kitsune Rush that's almost here, ready to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what these teams could do. Maybe Depsy could just apply more pressure.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's looking exactly like pressure is the name of the game. There is some pressure on the point, but oh my god.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
If they just didn't exist.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean, the flock just got taken out. The wings were clipped, but you're now looking at this, you know, Cronus team, and you look at Zoom here, which has been pretty dominant up on the Lucio so far, and is getting the pick up on the Chappers, and without Chappers, you don't have that Pulse Bomb just yet, but the flock do have this Kitsune Rush to just try and re-engage.
I need a miracle here for the flock. Those ultimates so far behind. We're gonna see the Kitsune Rush, but not before effort just puts Kai down. They need to aggress here, but they don't really have any more tools to do so. Indra falls, everybody meets the same fate. I do not think Depsy fell below 80 charge for most of this game.
Yeah, Depsy is just doing something up on that Zarya as we get to see this, you know, side basically at the 100% mark versus the flock. They didn't get any percentage there, Fletch, and now if you're the flock, you gotta try and think something over. Maybe switch your team composition as we get to see here. The flock are gonna be running something different. Possibly this Ram could be something for them, but it seems to be. We're heading to a pause.
Yeah, I think someone joined the lobby there. But yeah, people are not supposed to join the lobby mid-game. But there is something I'd like to talk about there. Zarya. I am a massive proponent of Zarya. Just in general, I love watching Zarya. I love playing Zarya. I think she's really strong right now if you can, you know, get that charge up, right? I mean, she's actually got mobility now once you get that jump ups perk, right? Secondary fire self knockback increased by 75%. That is insane. She can get up on high grounds that, like, you could never have imagined with that, you know, rocket jump before. So she's actually got mobility. If you play her like Hanbin does, right, where you're completely unselfish with your bubbles, because let's be honest, nobody's shooting at Zarya when she's got a bubble up, right? And that's what we saw out of Cronus is unselfish bubbles constantly, never using them for themselves. That is, you know, one of the things that makes particularly Overwatch 2 Zarya very strong. If you know how to, you know, time those bubbles right, if you know how to apply those bubbles onto your teammates, because the cooldown goes down if you apply, you know, those projected barriers onto your teammates. So an incredible job from Debsy there as we get ready to head to downtown.
Oh, I saw Mercy up in there for the Flock. Maybe we'll be able to get to see that. Who knows? But here we go. The Flock are going to be running out in a Ramatra variant, so they're going to try and work with the slows of the Ram, but you're going up against Depsy, which has just been dominant. Yeah, no speed from the side of the Flock.
All right, well, Indra getting active here, already on top of Zoom there, but has to escape in turn. Not going to be able to find much there now. Nemesis form up for Celex under so much pressure. The dash throughs are awesome. The immortality field, just a lot of things going down to that disruptor shot. And as Indra takes one out, takes two out
again.
That will be the fight, but great plays there from Indra.
Yeah, and this is something that we kind of get to see from Indra, you know, every now and then, where Indra is up in the kill feed for the Flock, but they do have these players to make these potential picks for themselves. Can they do it here against a dominant team, which has been pretty good so far? But you're looking at Depsy, and Depsy is dead here. This is a huge pick.
Yeah, excellent job there taking down Depsy, as the rest will, you know, play their time, wait for Depsy to return.
Yeah, so let's see what this Chronus side will do. You obviously have the Sojourn still up in the lines of sight, and if you are efforts, you're able to get the pick up on the Indra, so no Pulse Bomb just yet for this Flock side, but you do have this Ivari ultimate, which will be coming up online very, very shortly.
Alright, here we go. Right, getting ready to head over to the objective as the overclock comes out, but Kurama with that first pick on the Chappers is brutal, and despite a great fight win there for the Flock, they're gonna have to fly away.
Yeah, for sure. You know, now if you're the Flock, you are coming back up into this one with ultimates, but you need to be careful about that Lucio, and especially playing around those corners. All it takes is a boop off that map, and if you are Zoom here, Zoom has been basically just zooming around. A reckless car but now you're looking at the continuous pop.
Wait, Depsy already dead through the amplification matrix. Now sound barrier down from Zoom, as well as that Kitsune rush. Both will fade away here shortly, as an excellent fight for the Block and some great tracking to get Zoom out.
And here we go, the Flock are back here, they're running with percentage, they're trying to build up that number to that 53% mark, but the only ultimates that they're gonna have is this Anile in this Pulse Bomb, so I'm wondering if the Flock could definitely shoot their way back up into this one, but it's gonna be hard. We know what Depsy could do, but Groma waits.
Dragon Blade, Immortality Field taking that out. Unfortunately, Chappers and Ezia just entirely oblivious to the dragon behind them. Kurama, 75 HP, fighting this Tracer, getting those healing Ofuda, but Indra keeps going. Unfortunately, Kurama cannot take down, or will take down Indra, cannot get rid of both there as Flip comes through. Immortality Field actually onto Celex as they try to get, oh, yeah, that's brutal there, as great grab.
Yeah, for sure, and the Flock are looking still very good potential here for them. They're putting up a great fight here, Fletch, but now you're looking at the Chronus side. Efforts will be just trying to charge up the Sojourn ultimate, but you're looking against Chappers, which Chappers is going to be the first one to basically get an ultimate out of this ultimate economy.
Here we go. Looking for another pick, a much closer fight this time around. Feeding that Zarya some charge. Chappers has to slide away, but Celex is alone. That Immortality Field used and gone already. Now Overclock and Chappers just put down during the cast time of theirs. Kai does answer with a pick onto Depsy, so there is an opportunity. Indra and Izuya on at this point, this Captive Sun, but nothing
that's so
going.
unfortunate.
Chopper's gonna swap over to the Sombra here to get a late touch to try and come help this team out, and Indra in the backline has to use the recall, gets away, so, you know, not super threatened by effort at the moment. Kitsune rush down from Janti. Dragon Blade pulled as well, but Kurama with that Kitsune rush speed boost is absolutely brutal. They will not be able to get rid of that Iari. Kurama does end up falling there, but too little, too late for the Flock, as it is just going to be Indra and Chappers keeping this up, potentially. Yeah, no, it's cooked. It's cooked.
Yeah, you know, the birds are now getting fried, and yeah, if you're the Flock here, this was definitely a tough one, but you still are the underdogs up in this one. You are the number 3 heading up against the number 2, but I'm definitely not too surprised up on what we got to see from the number 2 seed, which is the side of Chronus. You do get to see Depsy here always up in the kill feed, and I feel like this is what leads their momentum. They're really communicating with their team here, and the Graviton Surges, Fletch, have just been phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Depsy's crazy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. The Zarya is a force right now. I mean, from what I could see, Depsy did not actually opt for the mobility of Zarya there. To be fair, there's really not much verticality that Zarya could get to even with the jump up spurk on, you know, Busan. But with Graviton Crush being, that's a lot of damage, because I think Grav might do 5 damage over time to begin with. Graviton Crush dealing up to 30% of an enemy's max HP is, I mean, that is an insane jump in damage from the tick damage of Graviton Surge, and I think that we saw Depsy make great use of that. I don't think Depsy missed a Grav. I think he hit at least 2 to 4 people every single time he used it. So definitely was getting all of the value out of that ultimate. But other than that, right, the entire team was on something during that first map. So there will be a lot of ground to make up for the Flock as we get ready to head to Midtown, as we get ready to hit our second map bans.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lucio was still picked here from the Corona side. Obviously, Zoom was pretty fantastic with the base blowout perk as a Lucio main. You're just able to get, you know, all that momentum forward with yourself, and we definitely got to see it from Zoom, and Zoom was always there with the environmentals whenever it came forth with the Graviton Surges that were communicated with Depsy, but as well, like the speeds coming out, just trying to communicate it with other ultimates, like the cast that we got to see up on Mecha Base. It's a lot of work from the support line so far, but I love what this Cronus side is doing. But if you're the Flock here, hopefully you're able to question some bans and possibly put some bans up on the side of Cronus that they aren't able to pick.
Okay, so we can't ban Diva, we cannot ban Brigitte. So the Flock coming in here, I'm just curious, because I actually think Zarya gets a lot stronger on Midtown. I think there are some places that she can get to with that mobility perk. And regardless, I think at some point during the series, Zarya is getting banned regardless. Just don't know if it's right now. I do think it would be a decent shout for Midtown. Could be New Queen Street is also a good shout for that at some point, but we'll know what the Flock are banning here very, very soon. I mean, the problem is that Zarya was the only really unique thing that the Flock, or that rather Cronus were playing, so they will ban the Genji here, which also was a problem for them. That Dragon Blade, consistently getting value. So no DPS for Cronus. We'll see what they're going to ban here.
Yeah, and now if you're Cronus, you have a choice selection of either tank and supports. And Fletch, I know Ana mains are pretty hyped about the biotic bounce perk. Obviously, that is pretty broken right now. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to take something like that out, or even more up on the side of the BAP that we kind of got to see. But can it be a tank here? I feel like it can be. We do get to see Poke here played, but I'm still just trying to wonder. Oh, I was right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there by Cronus. I think that they've got a lot of tools that they can ban because they're not playing a whole lot of the same characters as the Flock. Baptiste is one of those, and that is an extremely powerful gear in the machine that makes Brawl work, right? The Immortality Field, the Burst Healing, the Amp Matrix, all brutally important when you want to run a rush comp effectively. And that's something that Cronus can comfortably ban, right? They have a lot of ways that they can go from here on out now that they know that the Flock really do like that rush comp. They can go with, you know, the Hazard or the Junker Queen or the Ramatra or, you know, the Lucio, but I would not count on them banning the Lucio because of Zoom. But it is something to look out for if you are the Flock, because Cronus knows what you like now.
Yeah, and Cronus was a little dominant against this Flock team heading up into that Busan map, where map 1 sector was just 100%, and hopefully that's something that we don't get to see here again. I feel like the Flock could definitely build some sort of way up against this Cronus side, because they were fighting their way against them up in that second sector, so maybe it could shift. I hope to see it. Could possibly be 1-1, but this is still tough competition. We got two teams here which are very close up in seeds, but as you said, I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to get to see the Lucio back up in the back line, or, as I kind of quoted, an Ana possibly getting played.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm not sure, right? Because for as cool as the Ana perks are, it just seems like there's other better options, because Kiri and Juno are just still so oppressive, right?
Yeah.
Ana, I think, is a comfortable third place, if I'm being honest with you, when it comes to the flex DPS. But with only Baptiste being the ban, right? I just don't see anything other than Juno or Kiri like we saw last game. So it would really surprise me. I think that Cronus are just gonna rock with that Lucio Kiri backline that we saw them, or Lucio Juno backline rather, that we saw them dominate with on map number 1, as we get a look at the Pigeons chowing down on a long john there. Guess we will have to see. I see a Lucio. See a Lucio. Can't really see. Is that a Venture? Is that a Reinhardt?
That's
I'm
a great
squinting.
question.
That looks like a Reinhardt to me.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. If that is a Reinhardt with no Baptiste, and that's definitely an Ana. So you could be right about that one, especially if this is a Reinhardt. Okay, so what is going on here? That's a Hazard. Okay. That's a Hazard. And Celix is the one on Zarya now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting swap up here. Celix actually opting for the Zarya, while Depsy was on the Hazard. Didn't expect that one.
Yeah, you ain't getting, I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see more of this aggression from the side of the Flock. This is something that they need to do, but can they do it here? Obviously, we did get to see from the first map that it wasn't their way, but they could build back, could possibly be a feature sign, but if you are the Flock here, Fletch, you got building blocks that you need to perform, but you do have a dominant ban, so can it be up in the favor here, especially up in this Midtown map? You got a lot of comp variants that you could run, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the Flock running the Zarya, right? Chronus made it very, very clear that they know the ins and outs of that Zarya composition. It's nighttime now, and those pigeons are still going ham. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting, especially if the Flock still rock out with Celix on the Zarya, because like I said, Chronus know the ins and outs, and they know how to play around it. That's a Venture now.
Yeah, Venture, as we get to see. We do get to see that Lucio, I believe, but the DPS lines still showing from both of the sides, I expect. But yeah, this is definitely going to be exciting to watch. This is map 2 of our series here in our EU Open Division, and yeah, let's just see what happens.
All right. Well, the Flock maybe were just doing a little trolling because they knew they needed to be reset, with that Zarya pick, because it's a diva now. We will have to see. We know how strong they could be at dive. Indra on that Tracer, always a threat. Zoom exceedingly low, having to back off, get that passive healing. Depsy jumping out with that Violent Leap, able to get up on top. Still throwing up that Spike guard, and unfortunately, Chappers goes down to jumped by Kurama, and Depsy, no Genji, no problem for Kurama.
Yeah, and wonderful work here from Kurama. Obviously, yeah, if you're Chronus here, still a definite statement for them, but if you are the Flock, you still got a lot of work here.
Well, Kurama's dead, so that's a lot of the dive pressure and potential out from Chronus. So now they get to go in essentially for free. Of course, Kurama will be back here very, very shortly, as the rest of Chronus are just going to back around the wall, give up a tick.
Yeah, let's see what
maybe
Chronus does here. Oh,
okay. Well, Effort comes in with that headshot on to Chappers. There will be a trade, though. Celix, even though will get demeched, gonna throw out that self-destruct. The trades continue to drop, but now all attention thrown on to Celix, and yeah, without the rest of that team there, it's going to be very, very difficult for these Flock stragglers to get anything else going, especially with a sound barrier. Well, okay, well, there is a very annoying wall there, but the Orbital Ray, as well as the rally being invested, the Flock do not want to give this up, and Effort seems to make them want to give it up. A very, very good plays there by the Sojourn of Chronus, as the Flock are sent away one more time.
Yeah, and you get to see what Chronus has done here so far. Obviously, Effort doing what they could do. But yeah, if you're the Flock here, it's been very difficult for you. But Chronus, it's been pretty dominant. But you're looking at the Flock, which could just shoot their way back up into it.
Well, I don't think that plan is going to work here, Naya. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, I think Chronus overall is just being pretty dominant up in this one here, Fletch. They've been coordinating their ultimates pretty precisely, and I wouldn't be surprised here if they were able to do it again. Yeah, but Chronus overall against the Flock, like if you're the Flock, you still. Oh wait, hold on.
Okay, well, we're gonna tear it down. Unfortunately, the Diva and the Bob are the only ones affected, and Kurama does fall again. So one more time, the dive potential taken out for Chronus. Depsy falling here. This is the best opportunity that the Flock has had since starting this map. Now we're going to see the overclock on it to Effort, but Indra, no Tracer, no problem, still finding so much value on this Sojourn, and it will be the Flock being able to take Objective A.
Yeah, and wonderful work here from Indra and the Flock to get these picks that they needed. And yeah, for sure, the Flock have been doing what they needed to do. But now if you're Cronus, you're just trying to build back to this.
All right, here we go. Objective B coming out here. Already being pressured by the Venture and the Hazard. As we're going to see Kurama roll in there. Unfortunately, the Venture on the other side is dealt with. Chapper's falling here, and no need to even throw up a wall there from Depsy. Great sleep to follow up on Depsy's damage as the Flock are sent back to spawn here for the moment.
Though I will say, from both of the teams here, Fletch, they do have a pretty dominant backline. You get to see the Brig Juno up on the side of the Flock. Same with Chronus running this Lucio Ana. But you look at this aggression from both of the teams, it's really pacing.
All right, well, Izia eating it there on the streets of New York as Jaunty has decided the kill feed is theirs this fight. As Chronus very, very quickly, consistently getting these picks.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Chronus is doing a great job here. And yeah, if you're the Flock here, now you're just basically backed up into a wall. They gotta think something through.
Yeah. Very, very slow here for the Flock. They've got a few ultimates, but Chronus have got 4 of their own. There is the downpour in there from Depsy. And yeah, with a nano boost, that Hazard is incredibly threatening, and that is not the place where I would have thrown down that self-destruct, even though it does get a kill. Wait a minute.
Yeah. This could be something too. You know, Cronus could still be the winner of this one, but you're looking at the Flock, which they're just trying to communicate something, and yeah, it's still interesting for the side of the Flock because they could do anything up in this.
Yeah, an effort going to fall here next. This is great for the Flock. A lot of long-range pressure gone from the side of Chronus. The Venture, the Hazard, both on the point. Celix having to play it safe, getting jumped by Depsy there, and onto the Ana, but the map geometry keeps Jaunty alive. It's an unfortunate circumstance there for Celix as they tried to jump onto Depsy, who's able to escape and kill Indra. They needed that kill onto Jaunty, but they just could not get it. And even though Kurama is dead, this overclock just gonna be a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I feel like Cronus just overall is just doing what they could do. They're really communicating it, but yeah, the Flock, they're just trying as much as possible here, Fletch. It wasn't what we wanted to see from the Flock, but they're still just trying to fight their way through it. But yeah, Chronus just is performing as their number, 2, as what it seems. But can they still shoot for the undefeated map score? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes one little mistake, even if it, wasn't forced, if it just cost you. And unfortunately, there was an opportunity there, just could not take it for the Flock. However, they've got a win con, Naya. They have a win condition. They need an excellent defense here if they want to have a chance at winning out this map.
Yeah, and if you're here, it's gonna be interesting because you got to play around these corners, right? And if you don't play around the corners and communicate, it could just be the end for the Flock, and they make their way to the next map. But it's gonna be so much work for this Flock team to just try and shoot their way back. But Cronus still running out of the spawn with their aggression pace, and just a look at this.
Yeah, not even a Lucio in here for Chronus this time, but that Zarya going to be so threatening to the D.Va here. We're seeing Kurama burrow into the backline, bubble out on it to that Venture, an easy 45 charge, an easy 90 charge for Depsy. and that is a Kai falling. However, Effort meets the same fate as this Brig. Depsy, though, getting active, 100 charge. Always going to be a nightmare scenario for any squishy, and unfortunately for the D.Va there, will not be able to defend against that, and that is going to be damn near 6 minutes for Chronus on B. Only needs 70 meters.
I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Having that as a Midtown cap is wild, but the Flock are just against the wall so far, and they're just really just trying to find ways against it, but you get to see what Depsy just does, just runs in front, and Depsy is really just coordinating it with their team, and they just want to say that we want to keep on winning up in these scenarios.
Yep, Corona burrowing, getting active, finds a little bit of damage there on the Celix. Heal up very, very quickly, though. Not like a detrimental amount of damage. Unfortunately, you're going to have to drop if you want to have a chance at winning this map here. And unfortunately, that's a really bad place to have lost the defense's effort with a hat trick to end the map. Just dominant start to finish for Chronus here. That was brutal. I mean, they just lost here. The Flock lost on their defense way too close to that high ground to where they could not keep the control.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Chronus just really dominantly taking this one. Depsy always was there up in the kill feed, but as well, the Sojourn players, the DPS, do get to show up in the kill feed there and then. But yeah, if you're both of the teams so far, we got to see dominant performance from one side and just really trying to get back up on the other. But yeah, if you're the Flock here, Fletch, this is going to be pretty difficult for you.
Yeah, as we get ready to head into this break, you know, we do know what our third map is going to be. It's going to be New Queen Street. To be honest with you, I think if there's any place to ban a Zarya, New Queen Street is going to be that place. I don't think it'll, you know, shake the game up. Depsy's proven to be very, very flexible. So that's something to watch out for. But as we get ready to head into this break, the Flock need to figure something out. They need to know what they're going to ban here on New Queen Street. You know, they need to figure out what they're going to play. And how they're going to play it, because they need to reverse sweep if they want to win this and, you know, try and move up in those standings. Not going to be an easy journey ahead for the Flock. So when we come back, we'll see if they can get the job done.
Yeah, see you soon.
Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, Chronus up 2-0 on match point here in week number 4, looking to challenge, 0907 for that number 1 seed. I'd be lying if I told you how tiebreakers worked here, because both teams still have not lost a map this season. So, if they want to, guarantee themselves the opportunity at the 1 seed, they're going to need to finish off the Flock here. They definitely have the skill, but Flock, we've seen some moments. We need to see them string those together to try and play spoiler.
Yeah, and Indra has always been there for the Flock, but as well, the support line is just trying to communicate as much as possible to just heal the teammates up on the side of the Flock, but it's always the scenario that Chronus just walks right up into him and takes them all out, but you get to see the pace from an undefeated team. It's non-stop, right? So I wouldn't be surprised here, Fletch, if this is the same thing, but this could still be close. It is New Queen Street, and talking about it, we do have these bans that will be coming up from both of the sides. Maybe, like how we talked up on break, we could possibly see a DPS ban.
Yeah, so for the Flock, I think we came to a consensus that there's probably two things that the Flock could ban if person can bring out the key and unlock these bans, I guess. There's 2 options, I think, for the Flock that are, I would consider the right options. I would say Zarya or Sojourn. And for New Queen Street, I think Sojourn is the right pick. I think that giving Indra the opportunity to just not have to worry about playing Sojourn and just be able to go play Tracer, do what they do best, That would be what I would go with, because if you ban Sojourn, they can't
Maybe
ban
even-
Tracer, right? But as we get close to the ban, it's Hazard.
Oh.
I don't think I
Okay.
agree with that.
Yeah. I okay, Nye's a little confused. You probably are too, Fletch. But yeah, with the Hazard ban coming out from the flock, I don't expect Hazard getting played. I see more of the Zarya getting more aggressed up into this front line. But yeah, it's not gonna be too surprising. Now if you're Cronus, you could basically just target ban this team, and this is so unfortunate now for the flock. I feel like they messed up the ban.
Yeah, I think that's a blunder. I really, really do. Unfortunately for the flock. I mean, I can't really look into their minds and see what they're planning. But what we can do is look forward to Cronus's ban. They could ban the Tracer here, make Indra have to play that Sojourn mirror, and
Oh wow!
yeah. I mean,
He's just up 1 point.
yeah, I think that's the right play for Cronus, because if they don't ban that Sojourn, hey, you take Indra's best character away from them, make them, force them to play that Sojourn mirror. And I mean, while Indra has been, you know, finding these picks from time to time, I mean, effort has just kind of taken over the, you know, the series as that Sojourn.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here, and maybe with the forcing of this ban, we could see Indra play different heroes, possibly Venture, even a backline person, the Scope. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to get see Ashe or even a Cassidy coming out, but it's going to be interesting. You're looking at Chronus here, 2-0 overall against the flock. It's been good favoring, but if you're the flock here, so much work needs to be done, and we do get to see 2 players coming in, and it's gonna be Izuya and the GG. So let's see what happens with the flock here with these choices of the substitutions, and hopefully it goes up in the favor.
I just think right now the flock are running up a very, very steep hill at the moment.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be very tough.
it's yeah. They kind of stumbled with those bans, because I don't think Cronus were gonna end up playing that that Hazard. It's yeah, it's gonna be a Zarya mirror here, potentially. So forcing Indra to play that Sojourn, and the problem here now lies that Indra's going to have to take care of Effort and Kurama. You know, Kai with a little bit of support, but that Pharah from Kurama going to be very, very, you know, hard to deal with for Chappers on the Venture.
Yeah, even Kai, right? You know, needs to play these close spaces with their team and can't get caught out up on the opposition. But let's see what both of the teams could do. The flock needs something more out of this one for an engage of the battle, but now we're able to get to see this Chronus side. Kurama.
I mean, Kurama just taking down 2 there, fight over before it even begins. Kurama letting them know there.
Yeah. And Kurama, you know, this has been a player that we've been seeing throughout the series. They know what they're doing, but even Depsy playing this Zarya, which is very, very nice overall for the side of Cronus. But yeah, they are backing this flock team up.
Yeah, Depsy just already basically max charge. Just been chilling at over 80%, and Chappers just ints there. Unfortunately for the flock, I think you can see it right now. They are flustered.
Yeah, and if you're the flock, it's gonna be still very, very tough. Not too much going for you, but you're looking at Chronus. Fletch, they have been escorting the bot here, and it's already to that halfway point.
Yeah, they've just been doing this without Zoom. on that brig down there.
Yeah.
This is absolutely brutal. 90 seconds down the clock and 60 to 70 meters here for Chronus. Absolute dominance. Chappers on the Cassidy to try and take care of Kurama. They're trying to find these adaptations, but right now Chronus just doing an excellent job at playing corners, not letting this Cassidy find them. A bit of a grab there onto Celix, who does receive the nano boost from Kai. As Celix does end up finding two, Kurama goes down, and Debsy with that anti applied, not going to be able to get away. It's just Zoom left, and the Flock will win a fight, but that's triple digits for Chronus.
Yeah, but now we're talking about the Flock, which needs just something done here. I'm glad that they did get this one back, but you have the Flock with their ultimate economy so far. You're able to use Indra's ult to just apply more pressure up on the side of Chronus, but you look at what Chronus has been doing overall up in the series here, Fletch, and it's been dominant from both sides.
Giving Debsy a taste of his own medicine there. The solo grab from Celix. Chappers does end up falling, but without Debsy, this fight going to be exceedingly difficult for Chronus to deal with. Celix very, very low, will end up falling, but the damage has been done by the Flock, and they still haven't got rid of the close spawns. So as Debsy returns, already building up that charge. Zoom very, very low. Still, though, the numbers favoring this Flock squad, but still, they have not gotten rid of the close spawns. So, I mean, Chronus will return here shortly. Okay, not if Indra kills everybody in the lobby. So the Flock will get rid of close spawns and begin their push finally.
Alright, so the Flock are looking good so far up in this one, and they need to keep this one staying for themselves, but this could be unfortunate. Yeah, but the Flock looking good with their ultimates.
Well placed anti there. Taking down that Sojourn. We're going to see Chappers with the Deadeye. Not going to quite find a target there. I would have just let that go away, get that 30% back with the perk. But with Easy falling here, it's going to be very, very difficult. But hey, any progress is good progress for the Flock.
Yeah, and with how these Sojourns have been playing with the perks, it's always pretty consistent from them. They're always able to find these picks as we get to see Debsy able to get one up on the Chappers. And without Chappers, it's a 5v4 scenario. Will the Flock pop an ultimate? I don't expect it, but they gotta try and do something.
Goodbye. So I gotta imagine that's what happened. Yeah, Lottie is dead, found dead in London. I don't know if Lottie lives in London, but she was found there, I guess. We found her. She's not dead. Let's go.
And look at this. Right.
Yeah, Chappers, the adaptation. Yeah, the Flock getting an opportunity, a bit of a switch there from Chappers as we head into this next fight halfway through. Yeah, Nano Boost is strong, guys. Or I guess that would be an Orbital Ray. But yeah, very strong ultimate. Gets an easy fight win for Chronus.
Yeah, Effort able to show their effort up in this kill feed, and Effort's just everywhere up in that kills. But yeah, if you're Chronus, you got 2 ultimates to use. You obviously have Zooms coming up, so that's going to be 3 for more factors. But if you're the Flock here, you're only working with this Nano and possibly... Oh, wait!
Yeah, that's brutal. You could see that coming from a mile away, the grab, but the rally shielding off of those players. Chappers now on to the May, looking for something with these icicle shots. Debsy, though, is frying. That high charge, it's just a microwave, a nuke dropped by Debsy to complete the map with just under 4 minutes. Dominant win from Chronus 3-0. They're competing for that #1 seed out of the second group going into the mid-season tournament. 4-0. record 12-0 map count. Chronus looking to be one of the best teams in this EU Open tier.
Yeah, Chronus has been doing a pretty good way to show their dominance, but you still have that #1 seed right above them. That could be an interesting matchup towards the mid-season, and yeah, if you're the Flock here, you're still stable with your record. You could just try and build yourself back up, but you know the scenarios heading up against these strong teams now, and this is a good factor for you, and maybe heading up into the midseason of next week, they could think something over and shoot their way back.
Yeah, will not. I think the Flock should be okay if, some of the other people... Actually, no, I'm lying to you. Hey, person, I need you to ask Bippy what the, how many teams make it to midseason, because I'm not really sure. Freaking Bippy. Okay. I'm okay. I will make the conjecture. I want to say the top 8 teams are going to make it through to our single elim mid-season tournament. I think there are enough teams in this EU Open tier to justify 8 teams making it. So the Flock still have an opportunity sitting at 2-2. There are some other 6-3 teams. It is unfortunate that they were not able to pick up a map here today because, all 3 of the 2-1 teams that, before this series, the Flock, I'm, counting in that group, had 6 map wins, 3 map losses.
Yeah.
So, that is obviously going to change to 6 map wins, 6 map losses for the Flock here. Need to get very, very lucky if they want to make it this mid-season tournament. They fall out of the top 3 for now. But excellent win from Chronus. I'm not sure how the tiebreakers will work, but very, very strong performance from them. So now I believe we are getting ready to hit our interviews. Just a few minutes. When we come back, we will have some reps from Chronus to talk to us about this series, how they're feeling headed into the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, we're really, really excited for that. There we go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have got Jonty of Chronus here, the Flex support, to talk to us about this series. Jonty, excellent win here in week number 4. Get y'all set up at 4-0, undefeated, headed into the midseason tournament. How y'all feeling?
And as a team, we feel amazing. Obviously, like, very impressed with our results. No, no weirdness, no nothing, no, like, anything. Only win and go forward.
Crazy. I mean, we did just get to see a dominant performance from your team here, and as a Flex support, I know that there was probably a lot of communication going overall up in those team fight scenarios. It always looked to be that you guys were up on the kill feed board and just overall greater in the series with a dominant 3-0 showing. Heading up into the mid-season, though, are you nervous heading against the #1 seed?
Obviously, you gotta have a bit of nerves. It's an exciting match, gonna be fun, but I think it's gonna work out for us in our favor more than anything.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, so I have a couple of questions here, Jonty. I want to talk about the Zarya comp. Like, I think Zarya's in a great spot right now with the perks that she's gotten, but with Debsy looking as dominant as he did on the Zarya here in this matchup, is that something that y'all intend to lean on moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's something we tend to lean on. Debsy seems to really favor Zarya when it comes to, being able to pick whatever comp he wants to. He seems to lean on the Zarya a lot. So I think that's something we're gonna play against. It also kind of works out with how Kurama likes to play very aggressively. Really going for those plays.
All right, yeah. I mean, I like Zarya. I like watching Zarya playing Zarya, so I'm happy that she's getting some play time. But for my last question, I am curious what the comms were like heading into the map 3 bans. Were y'all expecting them to ban Hazard? And after they banned Hazard, were you just like, I'm going to make, you're going to make them take the Sojourn duel by banning Tracer? Is that what was going on through y'all's heads?
Not quite. The Hazard ban was kind of a surprise. We weren't really expecting them to ban anything specific. So the Hazard ban was a bit of a surprise. It's something I think we would have played if it wasn't banned. But I think the Hazard ban kind of like, it allowed us to ban that Tracer. As a Juno, I'm very scared of the console Tracer. It's I'm really scared of the aim assist. It gets me a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was the one to make the call for the ban Tracer there, almost begging for it.
Yeah, I mean, while we were sitting here talking about the bans, Naya and I were both very surprised by the Hazard ban ourselves. We kind of expected them to go with Sojourn, so that their their DPS to get to play that Tracer without much thought about it. So I was just curious about what y'all thought about those bans. But now, as we get ready to send you out here, Jonty, are there any shout outs that you would like to make, or any bring up anything that maybe we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to Fista for inspiring Kurama's gameplay today and teaching him how to play the game. It's very nice of him. And also shout out to Merc because he couldn't be here.
All right, shouts out. But Jonty, thank you for coming to talk to us today, and best of luck in that mid-season tournament. We're not really sure if y'all are going to be able to take that 1 seed, because y'all and 0907 are both undefeated in map wins, so not really sure how that tiebreaker is going to work out. But we wish y'all the best of luck in the mid-season tournament, and we will see y'all later.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Naya, crazy win. from Chronus today.
Yeah, I mean, just really, truly great for them. Very good, just overall playing performance. We got to see Depsy always there, forcing their way up in the Zarya. And even though the Flock did lose this one against a dominant team like Cronus, they could still build their ways. But if you're Cronus here, you're sitting very, very comfortably heading up into this midseason. And I wouldn't be surprised if this team was able to take, the maps against the #1 seed, because how good of a Zarya player was Depsy? Absolutely incredible. I feel like if they were able to run more of that heading up into next week, they could definitely show who they are.
Yep. Could not agree more. This team has an identity, and it is a very, very strong one indeed. But for now, Naya, we are going to call it here for the EU Open tier. The first day of week 4, starting only a few more days before that mid-season tournament kicks off. Get ready, everybody. That mid-season tournament going to be a lot of fun. Cronus gets the sweep over the Flock, guarantees themselves top 2 in their group, potentially top 1, depending on how tiebreakers shake out. They are very, very happy with this performance. I guarantee it. Thank you all for watching, and we will see y'all tonight for the NA side.